All right, so as I've mentioned many times, I think this is like the third video in a row I've done today where I'm just talking about defense because the defense is just so poor and generic this year, right? The way that they basically force you to play poor defense, like they're making you do this. You're not really allowed to stick your man the way that you would be allowed to, and even 2K23, but definitely prior to 2K23, where you could just stick your man all day. You no homo. You're not allowed to do that the same way anymore. So now right here, I gambled and reached for the ball. Didn't work out. So he gets the blow by, catch up with him. Want to kind of throw off his drive, and I already knew what was coming because this happens all the time. But here's something that 2K does this year that I don't really recall seeing them doing in 23, and definitely not before 23, where a lot of the gather and hop steps and the Euro steps, a lot of those types of moves where you're getting into the paint or you're driving and you go for those types of moves, they force whoever, even when there's computer guarding you or somebody else guarding you, but especially if you're guarding the computer, where they force you to bite on it. In other words, they force you out of guarding these moves a lot of times. So now right here, he goes for, what is that, a spin move. Now, even though I knew that it was coming, and I'm trying to get back over to my player's left hand side, to our right side, obviously if you're watching it. Even though that's what I'm attempting to do while holding the L button, I'm trying to get over into the center of the paint because I know he's going for the spin. But the game has locked in animations where you get fucked up off of these moves, right? So they go for the Euro, here's the thing, it's not even a complaint just when it's being done to me. I also see this a lot when computer is guarding me. When I go for a Euro or a spin move, a lot of times the game will force computer out of position, even though it is easy to just stick with your man. In the previous 2Ks, you would actually, if you did something like this, it would actually have to work on the player who you're guarding, not just the game triggering an animation that's forcing you out of position and allowing him to get to the basket. Once again, my man is going this way. This is not anything that I was doing with my actual joystick with the analog. This is purely the game forcing me out of position on defense in order to give computer the bucket, right? That's all that's happening. This is why I've been saying, and I got a few more videos coming out breaking down how horrific the on-ball defense is this year. It's like they've stripped a lot of that hard-nosed defense where you're actually allowed and able to stick to your man if you have the merit and the functionality to do so. So you may time something, but the game is saying, well, no, he's doing this move. You're forced to relent and allow them to do that move. If they're driving, like right here, you may be, let's say if you're playing 2K22, 21, 18, 19, 20, you may be able to actually, move and get in front of him and cut him off and prevent him from driving completely. With 2K24, you're forced to give them that lane. You're forced to constantly give them that path to the basket every time, damn near. Like they're forcing you to allow the computer or whoever you're guarding to get away with a lot more offense because they're holding you back and shifting you and moving you around on defense a lot more than they ever have in any 2K in 2K's history. Like the defense on 2K24 is one thing that hands down is even worse than what 2K was like back in the 2000s and the early 2010s. Like it's significantly worse because they're holding you, they're restricting and limiting your ability to stay with your man. If that's what you're doing, if you're moving the analog this way, But 2K wants 2K or the algorithm wants something else to occur, they will force you to go the other way. And totally go the other way. Like right here, once again, I'm moving to the right with my analog because obviously common sense is going to tell you he's not going to shoot from right here unless he does like a step back or something like that. So I'm going right with the analog, but the game is because it's the algorithm literally taking control of my player, so they're forcing me left rather than allowing me to execute what I'm actually doing with the joystick in my hand. See what I mean? It's not 2K. It never has really been a totally 100% merit-based game. But in the past, it's been far more merit-based than it is now. This shit right here is ridiculous. That is why I feel compelled to say that 24 is, at least in the past few years, is the worst 2K in the past few years. Right? It's the worst because of how the main problem is the defense. But there's a list of other issues we can go over, but the main fucking issue is this raggedy ass defense, and the mechanics of it this year. Like it's just so ridiculous a lot of times, man. But that'll do it for this video. Peace.